today, because I can, and because life sucks, I decided that I was gonna do my vlog in a WeChat. Because it's nearly Halloween and I haven't been able to do anything Halloweeny so far. We are week 45, I think. And again, it's as every other week, it's been a tough week. Friday morning, I woke up after only 5 hours of sleep with a very huge crack in my neck, and it was so painful, and the pain woke me up, and I have been half paralyzed ever since. I went to the osteopath Friday in emergency, and then kept my neck warm, but it just didn't do the trick. And then I went to my doctor, who gave me opium for painkiller and anti-inflammatory meds. I think anti-inflammatory are doing something, but it takes them a while. I've only been taking them for 3 days, which it's why I'm feeling a little better. And I have been wearing this scarf 24/7 ever since I went to my doc, which is a pain in my ass. You have no idea, I hate wearing scarves. One of the reasons I'm wearing scarves at all is not because I don't want to be sick. It's because 4 years ago now, some barbarian took off my thyroid and told me that until I was completely healed from the neck, I will have to protect my whole neck from the cold and from the air outside, so I wouldn't, make it worse, which I did. And I took that as a challenge. But I don't like wearing scarves, so what I did was like, fine, but I want to enjoy it. And so I bought all of the scarves that I mostly liked from the thrift store for 3 years in a row, and I'm still looking for some, which means that I have this monstrosity as my scarves collection, and I have even some hanging around. And some are really good. I have a cashmere one, a silk one, and this one with part cashmere, and all of them cost me €2 each. I love the thrift store. So I have a lot of scarves, and I hate this because I hate wearing scarves, but I'm making the best out of it. And that means that during that week of barely being able to function through the pain and just move my head or my neck or my arms, I haven't been doing much. That's the truth. And so Halloween is kind of delayed. Also, I bought a pumpkin when I went back from the doc, because the doc only took me, it was like 8 p.m. at night. Like, he stayed late for patients every night. It's freaking amazing. It would be more amazing if it wasn't 1 hour late every time. Anyway, that meant that my regular pharmacy was closed, so I had to go to the big old mall pharmacy that is 24/7, the only one in my town. And since I was there, I decided to check, because it's the only store that usually stores jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So I went there and I bought one. I wanted to buy more. I have 3 pumpkins that I want to make, and maybe one for my head to make like a mask to make a funny video, maybe. That was kind of the goal, to find them, but I don't know, they maybe have a bad year but they were all small. They were not in a great shape, and I bought one. Was like, yeah, but you can find them anywhere, so just buy one and then come back later that week to buy other 2 others and screw the rest. And I bought it, and 2 days later, so yesterday, I woke up and my apartment was smelling fucking awful. And it was the pumpkin that was already rotten to the core, that was leaking fucking juice everywhere, and I had to wash my carpet, my cushion floor seat thing that was soaked in it, and I almost lost the most beautiful thing I have, which is my mahogany furniture thing that did not like at all the pumpkin juice, the pumpkin rotten juice. Anyway, it was very fun, and I'm very mad. So I complained to a friend, to the one friend that told me that this store had them, and she investigated and found another store that had them, and so maybe tomorrow or maybe the day after that I will go and check for myself. I still wasted some time, some energy and some money on something, and I have to deal with it, and it's rotten, and I'm pretty pissed. Anyway, it's just a pumpkin, it's no big deal. This week started, what day are we? We are the 21st, so that's the 15th. So the 15th I went, as I said, to the doc, the osteopath, in emergency at 11, and I was feeling just right enough after the heat massage she did to still go to the Mahjong club and buy some fabric dye and gas in the afternoon. And I also finished the second thing that I did that I really like. So now I have a pair that is not exactly matching because I hadn't enough wool to make the second one as big as the other one. Like, I literally stretched the last centimeter of the wool I had, but they still look cool, a little different. And so on Friday I finished the second one, which is this one, and I love them, and they're exactly what I wanted them to be, and they're matching my big hood caplet, and I love them. So it's still something. So really I should just spend more time just crocheting stuff, because that just makes me happy. You know, life is short. By the way, yes, I'm feeling better, a lot better since yesterday about the neck thing. So heat and anti-inflammatory is the trick against torticollis. So that's what I did on Friday. You nosy. Then on Sunday I went to the thrift store with my neighbor, which was great because I've been trying to get her to come with me at the thrift store on the weekend since March, since we talked in the first place. And yeah, she never couldn't because she's always elsewhere, and she wanted to come too, and like every time she's like, I'm so sorry, I really can't. And I really thought that it was like a polite way to say, no, I don't really want to, I'm just finding excuses. But actually, apparently she really wanted to, and she's always gone. And this weekend she stays in, so we went together, which was great. But that also meant that I couldn't go to the fabric store to get some yarn. I couldn't go to the store to find some pumpkins. I couldn't go to the place behind the thrift store where I could just donate the garbage that I have because I didn't want to stay in her car. So all of that meant it was great because it was nice to go with someone. But yeah. Also spent some time on my garden and it's looking clean, and I want to go buy some things to plant there this winter because it's a little empty. There still are the 3 plants of tomatoes that would go soon because they're not giving me anything yet. There are a few more green tomatoes, but I don't think they'll ever get ripe ever again. So I don't know yet if I'm gonna keep them or not. But it's clean, and the plant store is next to the place I buy groceries. So next time I'm going groceries, I'll probably buy some plants too. And I bought some dyes. So I dyed every last stitch of the fabric that I wanted to for my costumes. And yesterday I digged up, yesterday or the day before, I digged up the white sheets I needed to make the ghost costume. So I have all the fabric ready. I have not yet started actually sewing it, but everything is ready. I also cleaned my place because fuck me, it was so fucking bad. And maybe it was not the great idea because it definitely did not help on my neck because it was strained. I strained by doing a lot of things and it was exhausting, but living in a clean place, believe me, it's really something. On the 17th, so Sunday, I stayed home all day in pajamas and I only watched a live stream at 6 p.m. and that's all I noted because it was a fucking rest day and I did nothing all day. I think I read, but that's not even sure because I was just very tired and very in pain and just didn't have energy for anything. So I think I only read for like half the day because the rest of the day was just me blindly just existing. Pain. So yeah. On Monday I went 99. Yeah, so Monday is when I went to the doctor on the night, and so I went to the pharmacy to buy a pumpkin, and I worked a little bit more on the dyeing because I had a lot of things and my laundry machine just can't handle all that much in the first place. I wanted on Tuesday to go to the orchard and to go change my tires because it's near each other, and maybe go watch Venom 2 because I'm really excited about going to watch Venom because Monster Fucker, and I need to give money back to the Monster Fucker industry so I can have more content, but just no energy and too much pain. I knew I couldn't enjoy it, so I didn't go. And yeah, it was Tuesday that I digged up the white sheet. Yesterday I was feeling better, so I did the dishes. I prepared some pumpkin spice cupcake. They're kind of pretty. They are not as pretty as the picture that was my inspiration, but my cupcakes never look as pretty as the ones in the pictures. I think I'm not that great at cupcakes, so that's okay. And I did two laundry things because of the pumpkin issue. And yeah, and today I went to the Tarot Club to bring the pumpkin spice cupcakes, and they really like them, and so it was great because I'm fucking tired of people not giving me enough validation and admiration when I bring them food. When I bring them homemade baked goods that I spend a lot of time on. So yeah. I went there and I called the pain specialist doctor, and I have an appointment November 16th, I think. November 16th, yeah. So that's positive. And tonight, if I do this right, I want to wash again my kitchen because it's kind of a mess after the cupcakes. And maybe try to sketch October so I can actually have a chance to film it before the end of October. That's not sure. Also, since I used this page that is supposed to be November front page to write everything that I write usually on the other pages, that means that I can't start November until October is done, which is a pain in my ass. So yeah, it would be nice to do that. It would also be nice to finally get a go on the sewing, because I have 3 costumes to do. I think I'm gonna give up on the Beast one, because it's gonna be the most complicated one, probably. Especially since I don't have the branches yet, so I will need to find them. I don't know where to find them. And yeah. Tomorrow I'm definitely going to the car and to change my tires. And on the way back, I'm going to the other store that is not in the city but like 15 minutes away, that my friend told me she found pumpkins there. So I'm gonna go there and check them out for myself, and we'll see whatever I do after that. And then the day after that I'll go to the first store again, but then on the way back I'm going back to find the yarn and that decoration store which has Halloween stuff, which should be fun. But it also will cost me money, which is not a problem, because I don't know if it's a mistake or not. Like, there's a 50-50% chance that it's a mistake. But the organism that is giving me so I have unemployment money right now, and when I don't have unemployment money, I have the minimum wage, the minimum money. It's like, it's the money you have when even the unemployment doesn't kick in, because I live in a great country, so they did not let you starve to death on the streets if they can afford it. So they give me money even when I don't have employment. So since February, I think, they keep giving me the minimum wage that I don't need since I have unemployment money. And I texted them about it. I said, you're cute, but I don't need it. Anyway, so I kept it aside, knowing that I probably will need to give it back to them. And then, since I recently had my disability file accepted, they are the same organism that give me the minimum wage is supposed to give me the money for the disability. And I don't know if it's retroactive or whatever, but they gave me 5,200 euros at once. Which is not that much of a problem, because, you know, 5,200 euros all at once, it's amazing. But I feel like I'm gonna have to give that back. I don't want to. But it must be a mistake, because I have unemployment money. I don't need that disability money on top of it. It's just insane. So I messaged them again to say, hey, I probably made a mistake. Could you please stop giving me money so I don't have to give it back and just depress me when I see all of those numbers leave me. So I don't know. I have that money, and ever since then I'm thinking about investing it in something that matters to me. So my family is strange to me, and as most trans people, they have a very powerful right over me, is that when I die, they will have full control of my body and what they do with me. And especially if I'm buried somewhere, if I have a tombstone, they write my name on it, but my birth name that don't want my tombstone. And stuff like that. And they probably will burn me, because last time they asked what I wanted was, I did the classic one because I'm atheist and poor, so the classic option for that is cremation. So they probably will take my body and cremate it under my birth name, and I don't want that. So I want to invest it in finding a way to have the natural burial that I want, and make sure that my family has no power over that decision. So that requires money, and ever since I decided to have that kind of burial, I was faced with two problems. First, it's illegal here. Law is changing very fast, I suppose, so I should do more research about it to find what I can do. And the other thing is, it costs money that I didn't have, but I do have it now. On my bank accounts right now, I have about 9,000 euros. A lot of it would go into functioning and paying rent and paying groceries and stuff like that, but a lot of it won't. And so if I do it properly, I could pay myself the burial that I want, which would be fucking amazing and pretty excites me. So I think next time I'm going to the library, I'm gonna stop on the way back to the funeral home that is there, and just go there and ask for the options that I have and where to find other options that will suit me best, and just try to invest that money. That would be great. That would be great. And I know it's kind of a weird thing to be excited about, but I don't have a lot of years to live left, and I really think that this is important to me. Also, I called my sister, which was a mistake, earlier this week. Because she called me several times and left a message and asked for news, and I blocked that number, but apparently she can still leave message on my answering machine. So I called her back, and it was a mistake. Apparently I have a nephew that I do not want to meet. Anyway, it was very depressive, and I was very angry, and I will never do that again. So yeah. And it occurred to me that being able to make my own decisions about my life and not leave my family a single shot at doing whatever the fuck they want with me is important and is fucking precious. So yeah, that's kind of a priority. I really need to do the tires and car thing. I really need to sew a lot. I really need to work on my bullet journal, and oh yeah, I decided to give up on the Advent fig problem because I'm just in no state to write at the moment, and we're already almost in November. There is no way I'm doing this in 1 month. So I don't like it, but I'm giving up. and maybe next year, but this year is just not happening. That's life. That sucks. But yeah, writing would be nice, but it's no longer a priority. So yeah. And also, I would like to try to watch Venom soon enough, because I like watching Venom. So I want to watch the second one soon, as soon as possible. But I was feeling like shit and was not the priority. So yeah, that's the goal. On my fall plans, so I went to the orchid once. I would go again, but I would orchid once and take pictures this time. I did pie filling, I did pumpkin cider and apple cider and pumpkin cider. I did a tadine pie. I did 2 of them. I did apple butter and apple sauce. I did pumpkin spice cupcakes. I made potato donuts. I made meringues. I made the pumpkin shaped cookies. And the only thing left on my list that I wanted to do, but it's not bad if I don't, is apple bread. I can only go there tomorrow for enough apples to make apple bread and pictures. So yeah. On the not cooking things, I have the pumpkins, so I wanted to make the skeleton arms, so it's gonna take 2 pumpkins and a classic jack-o'-lantern, but with a mouth shaped like a bat. So that makes 3 pumpkins. And I have a live stream, a Christmas Macaron live stream on Sunday, so I could make them then, and so that way I could take pictures and tag it with creating with Christine, which will mean that I will have more impact on Instagram, because I could use a tag. That is a very well tag. So that's the pumpkins that I wanted to do. I haven't touched the doll or fairy skeletons thing ever since, and I have so much sewing to do. So much sewing to do. I really need to do it. Which is weird that I'm not doing them, because I kinda like sewing. So yeah. In theory, like, painting my room will be nice. Practicing on roses will be nice. Yeah, that's not happening. Just some things are not happening. Maybe if I'm not doing the advent, I could work on the Dream and MLP series. Those are easy to make because they are hurt one-shots and they're my specialty, and they're the kind of things that I write, but I can write anything else. So that could be a nice objective for what to replace what I wanted to do, but I can't. So yeah. Yeah. Right now I should really focus on the sewing part. Sewing part and art part. So like painting the bed, painting my room, painting the globe, painting maybe the Newton t-shirt. So yeah. And all of the bullet journal issues. So sewing and art are the priority. So that's it for this week. And I will see you next week for week 46. I will probably be very off on my sleep schedule because for the next 3 weeks I will have no Tao and no Mahjong Club because of the fucking kids holidays, which means that all of the elderly that I have in my clubs will be out there guarding their grandchildren, so they need all the time, which sucks. But that also means that since I do not have to wake up for the afternoons, I just want and I just sleep in because I need rest. I need a lot of rest because I've been in a lot of pain and it's just so exhausting. Yeah, I started opium and it's not working, which is lovely, which is great. So opium is not working. I really need the pain doctor to find me a solution at that point. I'm glad it's only November 16th, so I don't have to wait, 4 months for it. So yeah. Maybe this winter, since I have a lot of money, I could pay myself my gold tattoo, maybe. It's also a lot of pain and a lot of issues that are not linked to the tattoo itself, so I don't know. I will get my dream glasses that cost $400, but I will only take them when I see the eye doctor in January, because I can see them before, which sucks. So yeah. Other thing is that were on my list of things that I wanted to do when I have money, because I have a list that's named literally when I have money. So I have my dream glasses, I have the mattress that is on its way, the gold tattoo, and the sword. And I don't think I want to. I'm checking every now and then to find the perfect sword on or Craigslist, and yeah, I cannot find it yet in my prices, so I'm just gonna check again and again every now and then to make sure that I can find the one that I want. But yeah, all of them are literally now on my list and are on their way to happen, so I'm glad. Also on my list there are furniture from my home. I can totally afford anything that the wardrobe can cost because I have 5,200 euros on my bank account, so I can totally spend 130 on a wardrobe. There's no issue. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm gonna go to the thrift store hoping I can find the perfect wardrobe because no, I can afford it. Go on, it's exciting, we'll do things. Yay! See you next week.